Hello guys, welcome back on my YouTube channel. I'm back again with another video. Okay, I've done this video, but I had to redo it. There were a lot of distraction when I was making the first one. So the video today, it's about great people. So I'm remaking great souls. So we all know the definition of being great, but I'm just going to define it in my own perspective. For me, when I define being the word great, I define it as a manner of whereby you, a certain person, does not get enough. They are not enough. They don't have anything that fulfill their void, whatever void that they are actually avoiding. They don't not they are operating from a place of jealous, envious. They're operating from a place where they have a scarcity mentality. They're operating from a mentality that is actually not aligned with their higher self. It's they're not even aligned uh, with their true self. They are in a place where it's actually dark. They don't see any kind of light in their life. So whatever that they're doing it in a manner of wanting more already when they have more. It's just that they are in a place where they don't see that they already have more. It's okay to want more. I'm not against wanting more. I'm not against it because I have a lot of things that I'm actually currently grateful to have that I didn't have, and I had a lot of things that I'm not in a place where I'm like I had it, and I still want certain things in my life that I'm currently manifesting. So there's nothing wrong with wanting more in your life. But the problem with people who actually great, um, we all know souls. We are souls before body. We before we reincarnate in this earthly rhythm, we were soul before we became a physical being. That that we are a physical being with soul. So I'm talking about great soul. So I had a download about to talk about this kind of things. Obviously, I didn't write. I write it down. That might actually regret because now I feel like I should listen more because sometimes I'm download. They feel like it's not. It doesn't feel like that actually things that you should talk about. So why great people are actually great? One thing that I've noticed about being great, even myself, I'm guilty of a certain way that I actually behave and that I'm still working on. So, for example, okay, I said the first thing that I've noticed about why people are actually great, they are not connected to the source, higher power, God, their own soul. For me, my soul is God. That's where I get guidance from. My soul is God. Obviously, I do get certain guidance externally in a divine way. Songs, they help me to inspire me because sometimes you need some external things to inspire your soul. So taking walks, I get downloads when I am doing whatever that I'm actually passionate about, whatever, even exercising, um, going to a store, doing a dress up, it makes me happy. It's something that I do whenever I want to, when I have a lot of in my mind. I just do simple things, doing yoga, going out in a time that I feel like I like watching outside, watching nature, doing whatever. It inspires me to go back to myself. It inspires me to be present. Whenever you're present, you get downloads, right? So I'm actually very connected to my body. I listen to my body over everything. My body, I like to believe our body was given to us in order. It wires my our body is wired to be able to protect us from whatever external factor that is not aligned with our higher self. So the reason why people are actually great, they're not connected with themselves. They listen a lot of things that are actually externally, that is not like government, how society, because society is most of the time it's opinion that people share in their low vibrational state. So they saying this opinion about how women should behave, how men should behave, which is actually not aligned with. We are not. We're as much as we are the collective. We are individual. How the other individual live their life, how they maneuver their life, it doesn't mean it's gonna be aligned with me. So obviously, when you are disconnected with yourself, you become greedy. When you are disconnected with God, you become greedy. When you are disconnected with your ancestors, you become greedy. Whatever you believe in, whether it's a universe, source, spirit, when it's because you are spirit over everything. When you are disconnected with that, obviously, you won't know when your soul is what your soul want, because you're operating from a place of ego. You're not knowing what exactly do you want. Instead, you want more because it's what something that our society programmed to believe that you're supposed to want more. Mediac is not a lifestyle. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with wanting more. There's nothing wrong with going with the flow of feeling that we're born for a higher purpose. We all believe in that. There's nothing wrong with it. But at the same time, most of our life, we're gonna go through mediac life, and it's okay to face. And we treat mediac as something that is awful, that is something that is bad. But when we didn't have experience mediac, we wouldn't have purpose. We wouldn't ask ourselves, what exactly do we want in ourselves? What is the meaning of life while we were born? So the mediac is whereby a lot of things are actually born within ourselves. So there's nothing wrong with trying to break free from the mediac, but it's okay to want more. Don't get me wrong, but when you're wanting it, is it intentionally? Do you want it intentionally? Why? It must be a lot of why. Don't tell me you want that new car just because you saw your friend, or maybe the enemy is driving it, so you want them to be better. Probably it's a new BMW that is actually a 2022 version. I don't know so much about what car BMW has actually produced, and then you saw your neighbor using bought that they your neighbor actually bought that BMW, obviously, and you get angry, and you realize it's okay. You end up wanting to um wanting more than what your neighbor have. For example, you're not doing because you want it. It's just that you hate your neighbor, and as you hate your neighbor, you operating from a place that you want to be better than your neighbor, and then you go and buy uh whatever it's a what an you go for Ferrari. Is it Ferrari? Yeah, you go for Ferrari. I'm not sure, because your neighbor, you wanna be better than your neighbor. You're not doing things intentionally. You're not doing things because you actually want them. Instead, it's because you hate what your neighbor have, not because you might have a car that, not even one car, a lot of cars, but it's just that you hate when you see your neighbor doing better. And the next thing, you're being greedy for no reason. It's something that is not even aligned with you. It's gonna fuck your bank account, will be your money. It's gonna fuck your self-esteem, gonna fuck your mind. You're not doing it for you. Instead, it's just because you don't want to see your neighbor doing it and better than you do, which is weird. Because the more I grow, I realize we define success, how I live my life, because you don't know where I was. I'm not gonna compare myself to anyone. How I started, where I was, for me, where I'm at, it was once a dream, and I'm actually enjoying the swim. So when you're telling me that you living your life according to society standard, are you okay? Like, I'm just gonna ask you, are you okay? We define success on our own. So when you define success according to how society defines success, you're gonna suffer a lot. Your soul will become greedy. For example, I remember when I studied a degree and I went to the best university. like a lot of people wanted what I have. They didn't know how I feel. It's just that they saw what is happening the outside, because it's something that they all wanted to be in that university. So most of people wanted that university because it has a lot of benefit. It was a top five best university in South Africa, and I got in. When I got in, and everybody was wow, like I I didn't realize I actually can do it, because I was not showing that I'm actually can try harder academically. So a lot of people just undermine me, and it was okay because I love to be undermined. So when I got there, a lot of people were happy and whatsoever. I wasn't. I felt shitty. I felt horrible because it was not aligned with me. I was just doing it. I was still operating from that society norm that I have to, because everyone is doing it now. I'm supposed to do it. Did I like my degree? The degree was fine. It's just that I was not aligned with educational studies, uh, um, traditional educational studies. I'm aligned with a lot of things, like a lot of things that I actually see online. I'm constantly studying because I'm a student of life, but I was not aligned. And what happened when I got that degree, knowing exactly that I felt awful? Do you know what I went for? I went for honors. Did I wanted the honors? No, I just wanted people to see me as some sort of you know, you know, my ego was in the roof. So I was becoming greedy, but my soul wanted more, wanted peace, wanted to be in a place where it's peaceful. We wanted stability, we wanted emotional fulfillment. And I was not receiving that. Instead, because I saw other people wishing to be where I was, and here was going with my ego, you know, didn't work. Eventually, your soul will call you back, and you stop lying to yourself, you know, you will stop following through with things that are not aligned with yourself. So, and eventually, I realized every time when I had a little money, I would use that money to look good. I used to dress up, like I used to spend a lot of money in dressing up. And now when I'm looking back, I'm like, fuck, I wasted my money for what? Just because I was not aligned with I was not as connected I was with my body, but I was not connected as I am now. I was dressing up, I was putting so much, I was avoiding what is happening within myself. I was avoiding pain that that I was suppressing. I was using external things to numb it. My soul was greedy. And not my soul was greedy. I was operating from an ego space. I was just greedy, 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 wanting more. And even though I wanted more, they were just fucking up with my savings. They were fucking up with a lot of things that actually are not that I don't need. It was a stress that I don't fucking need. So I'm talking about that. It's first thing that I've realized about the great souls. They are not connected with themselves. Secondly, what else make us greedy? It's the fact that we are numbing. We are numbers. We numbing a lot. When you're numbing a lot, you won't even know, like you know that you have something that you have to unpack, because you are in a place where you don't feel the need to unpack things. You end up going about doing whatever and numbing, doing whatever, and you know, you end up asking yourself how long. You don't even ask yourself this kind of question until someone can see through you. Because I remember, as much I was already in a place where I am ready to be a student, I met a lot of teachers who helped me with dealing with whatever I'm dealing with. Because the first person that ever saw me, I remember, he said, "You've been through a lot in your life." And I was like, mind you, I cover my pain. I've covered with a lot of psychiatrist. Fuck. My coping mechanism was making jokes, was being a person who you wouldn't say that is going through a lot. And also my coping mechanism was trying to fix other people instead of fixing my problem. So I was a fixer, I was helping people, I was a people's pleaser. So it was the first time where I actually interact with a spiritual person who can see through me. Mind you, I have a gift of seeing through people, but I couldn't see other people. Like other people couldn't see me, but I could see other people. So whenever that I knew that whatever I'm running away from, it's not gonna run away forever. I'm not gonna run away. I feel like it is time. I'm cornered. I'm not gonna run away this time around. I reach rock bottom. This is it, you know. And in that moment, I knew, you know what, I am done being greedy, allowing so much things that are not aligned with me. I'm so done to cope with the way I cope with my problem. I'm so done sleeping a lot just to avoid whatever that is happening in my life. I'm so done doing overdosing pills. I'm so done drinking to run away from my problems. You know that. So I knew from that moment I'm done. So it made me realize how I felt so bad about myself, the way I used to spend my money, about actually a lot of things, and I just knew this is it. So a lot of things that are actually people that I grade for. There are many reasons that make people being greedy. It's how we allow society standard to define us. It's how we allow uh, things that are not unpacked to control us, like our trauma, how we allow certain trauma that we not yet unpacked, that we don't uh, acknowledge. Instead, we keep on gaslighting ourselves as if those trauma didn't matter, they didn't happen. It can be something as simple as having being in an attempt, experiencing attempt to rape. It's a trauma that I didn't realize it was affecting me, because I almost got raped when I was 8. And when that happened, I didn't put much into it, because I was like, he didn't put his dick in, he didn't penetrate me, you know. But he touched me in a way that it was so uncomfortable. If my brother didn't walk in that moment, obviously a lot of things would happen, because I was just frozen. So I'm talking about things that it didn't happen, but I view it didn't happen. Sometimes it can be accident, a car accident, whereby you didn't get hurt, but instead psychologically you did get hurt. So it makes us being in a place where we become greedy with wanting more, living a life as if whatever happened, it did not exist. Unpack things cause us to be greedy. It causes us to want so much from outside, so much that we don't even actually our soul need. Our soul want peace, want stability, emotional fulfillment, want us to align with what exactly do we want. Because recently I've been thinking, if I do get married, what exactly position that I would actually play beside if I ended up being a mother? What exactly, what role will I will play in that marriage? And then while I was thinking about it in terms of this is what I want in a married partner. And you know what? I got the download where I was like, it's okay to not to know what role you're gonna be playing, because I have anxiety of trying to do too much, you know. But I realized that download, it just gave me a peace. It just told me that you don't know what your future partner is strongest as well as his weakness. You also don't know your strongest as well as your weakness, because as much as you live alone, you are in a place where you did never live with someone. So since I've never actually lived with someone in terms of a relationship, because I've never lived with a partner, so that means that I don't know who my partner is, but I want a certain part, but I don't know what role he will play, what he's strong. So we don't know how everything's gonna go about. We don't want to structure it in terms of society, because whatever society created for us, it not always gonna work for us. For me, I'm just a rebel. I'm a rebel by nature. Anything that is society created, it's not aligned with me. So I find myself defining myself. I know that cooking is actually my weakness. Cleaning is something that I enjoy. A lot of things I enjoy, doing interior designing. I enjoy a lot. But when it's come to cooking, I was finding difficult that I won't be able to do it. Look, I was like, you know what? And that's when I was like, I got calm. I was like, you will define it once you meet that person. You will sit down and talk about it. What is exactly that you feel like you will do it more than than anything in the house, in the household, and what do you want us to trade down on? It's something like that. So I was like, okay, it's all calm. You know, it's coming. It's coming to get downloads when you are eating yourself around and being in your head. So our last video, it was about great souls, you know, and I've made a lot of example about myself, about how being greedy can come from a childhood wounds that are actually unpacked trauma. It can be us not being connected to our body, soul, God, source, spirit, universe, and it can also be caused by um, like I think it was those 2 points with those when I'm talking about unpack childhood wounds. I'm also speaking about avoidance. It's same thing. It's a trauma that make us being greedy. When you don't look at our greed, the root of our greed, where does it come from? Why we become greedy? It's because of that. Why we are greedy? Why we do things that way we do? And it can be a lot because I wanted to be honest, I wanted this video to be different, but I had a structure how this video is gonna turn up, but it ended up turning up in a certain way. So I'm just gonna post it in whatever, because I tried to structure it and it happened to be structured in the way it's structured. So I'm just gonna be flexible. I know I'm want to be things to happen the way I want it to happen, but just because now I've got new downloads that are actually not aligned with what I wanted to talk about, I'm just gonna be okay with posting it. So guys, thank you for liking, for subscribing, as well as for sharing and watching my YouTube channel. Thank you. Bye.